I'm not even sure how quite to start this. So I think the best way is to just come out with it and say it. Last week, Ellie took a pregnancy test and it was positive. I love you.
I love you.
One of the unique things about daily vlogging is that we got to share with you the emotions, the experiences, the events almost immediately. Less than 24 hours after we went through something, we were able to share it with you.
Even like having kids. It was all the time.
It was
I loved it.
Some of the best experiences, the highest highs, and we were able to share some of the lowest lows. And I love that about what we've done is we've had this wide range of life experience that we've been able to share with you. For the most part, it's been the best. Occasionally there are times, there have been and there will be times where not sharing something immediately or having time to process it would be better. And I feel like now is one of those times. Like we mentioned, Ellie took a pregnancy test and it was positive.
Like right away. Even though it was faint, it was right away.
This has happened to us before, and we've been on both sides of this coin that we call infertility.
After we took more tests, I found an OB doctor here in town that everybody loves, and he went above and beyond for me. We've done more blood work and tests, and unfortunately, we are not pregnant, but those emotions and those highs were there, and now those lows definitely are there. And we have a game plan with our doctor, and we filmed all that we could, and we're excited, anxious, excited about the future, but we're excited to share with you the footage that we got.
Good morning, we are on our way to the grocery store. Ellie, do you want to tell them what we're picking up today?
We're picking up our 10th pregnancy test.
10 pregnancy tests. So this is the situation that's going down. Ellie has taken a lot of pregnancy tests. They've all been a very, very faint positive, but they've shown up immediately. So we're thinking as the day progresses, the positive pregnancy test will show up stronger. So it's a brand new day, a brand new pregnancy test.
We'll see. The fact that it was positive the first time I took one, I'm now obsessed and can't stop peeing on sticks. We're so close.
We're so close.
We're just one spot over.
One spot over. Soon, Ellie.
It's just too faint to know if it's real. I think it's real.
We think it's real.
It has to be real.
If it shows up right away, it's real, right? I don't know.
I have PTSD.
We feel like we're so close, but yet so far. You've got to pee. Let's go. Is this going to be like Calvin, where we do it in the bathroom?
No, I've learned my lesson.
How am I going to do this? Crutches are hard. Okay, Ellie ran in here, sprinted into the bathroom before I could even.
Yeah, because I had to pee so bad.
So, 2 tests on the table. How many minutes? 3, 4, 5, 6, 10?
Here's the thing. Usually, like you can already.
You can get a pretty good idea pretty quick.
Yeah. Boo!
Nothing yet?
I just peed all over that.
Oh, great.
There's probably way too much. This has happened a few times where I am, like, we're not even thinking about baby right away, but in my head I'm like, it's been a minute. I should take a pregnancy test. When I did that, we were indeed pregnant with Tommy. And I thought one night I was just like, I need to take a pregnancy test. Literally went and bought one, took it that night, instantly was positive. Very faint,
Yeah.
but it was positive. And I instantly was like, oh my gosh, I know what I'm gonna do. We're gonna wake up, we're gonna go to the house, I'm gonna have Jared take a picture of us, but it's actually gonna be a video, and I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, baby number 4, and surprise him. I was way too excited to wait, and I didn't sleep that night, and the next morning I woke up and told Jared.
We didn't even film that. I had no idea what was coming.
His jaw dropped to the floor. He got emotional. His hand covered his face.
It was genuine raw surprise for me, and I loved it.
So excited.
I loved it.
And then the next day there was like no line, and I was like, oh, what? And then we got another faint one with another brand, and then after that I had no more.
There have been so many times where that faint line represents so much hope, so much excitement and joy, that sometimes that's all people have to hang on to.
I was gonna say, that's like what you hold on to. Like that was the most precious accessory I could have.
Absolutely.
That week that I just kept and stared at, and it was really hard to eventually toss it. Like, I kept it for like a week and a half, and I was just like, gosh dang it, I don't want to throw this away. But because I had that faint positive, and then I was getting negative pregnancy tests, Jared and I have definitely been down this road before of this exact same scenario, situation, highs, lows. So I knew I needed to meet with a doctor right away because of our past experiences. I'm at my doctor's office. This is the first time I'm seeing an OB since we moved, and I have a test right here that has a very, very faint positive, and then I have another test at home with a very, very faint positive. But then the 4 other tests I took are negative, so my emotions are all over the place. I don't know if I'm pregnant or not. In my heart I am, because I saw the line, and it just makes me excited, because as soon as you see those 2 lines, you dream of this baby. And at least I haven't slept in 4 days, because I'm just like, am I not? I'm excited. What if we have another boy? What if we have a girl? Like, there's just so many. It's just weird timing too. Like, the boys, we don't put this in their head. All the time, Jackson and Calvin say, we just want a sister. We just want a sister. All of the time. And I tell them, well, if we have another baby, if it's a boy, we'll love him. And if it's a girl, that would be awesome. And like, I don't care. But just the fact that I saw 2 lines, like, I'm having a baby. And so if I'm not, I just feel like I'm gonna be devastated, because I've just got my hopes up and I'm excited. So let's go get some blood work done and see what the doctor has to say. Not only do you want a good doctor, but you want a whole good staff. And instantly going into the doctor's office, I knew I was gonna be taken care of, and that I loved it there. The nurse right away was like, this is all the steps we're gonna do. We're gonna make sure you're comfortable. We're gonna take your blood work. The doctor's gonna come talk to you. It's like, even though you've gone through it, it just is so refreshing to have everybody like on your team, like really be on your team and like be advocates for you. And it really made me feel comfortable, and the doctor was just great. Something that surprised me though is when he was like, okay, let's start from the beginning. I was like, what? No. I'm used to talking about it when it happened, but to like rehash it and think and say it out loud, I definitely got emotional. It was really hard to like talk about it all. And then he was like, okay, well, have you had a DNC before? And like, that whole thing just like brought up like instantly anxiety, instantly heat. It just wasn't fun to talk about, but he made me feel really comfortable. And then he even texted me that night, which I thought, okay, you are the old school official, I love you doctor. You would probably be at my front doorstep if I asked you. I just fell in love with him.
As a husband to a wife who has gone through some terrible experiences with pregnancy and miscarriage, that's all I could hope for, is someone who is looking after you the way that I would if I were the doctor.
You would have been a good doctor.
But to
so
hear
sweet.
that when Ellie called me after the appointment, despite the news, despite like the terribleness of the results, it was so refreshing to hear how positive and even hopeful the doctor was for us. And that's what I loved about the appointment.
Even when you go to doctor appointments, if it's not for pregnancy, I mean, even your hip, it's like sometimes you don't even know what questions to ask.
Yeah.
And that's what I really love about our awesome doctors that we've had lately, is just it's not only do they just sit and like listen, but then they say, okay, well, there's this road, and this road we can go down. What would you like to do?
Yeah.
Like, just laying it all out is really helpful as well. It is a hot day. It is hot. Just got my blood work done. Doctor said it was most likely a blighted ovum, which means you have the sac but no baby, and he's like, I wouldn't be surprised if you start your period soon, and then asked what our plan is from here. It's been a little over 2 years since I've had any, like, at my IUD, so even though we haven't been trying the whole 2 years, it's still a long time to go without birth control and like what our plan is. And I think Jared and I are definitely ready to have one more baby, and so he's gonna call me in the morning with my blood work, and we're going to have a plan for what Jared and I are gonna do. I'm gonna go eat lunch and try and just like breathe. I think what's hard too sometimes is like with social media, there's like so much going on in our life right now that Jared and I just literally cannot talk about. And probably shouldn't on social media, but it doesn't have anything to do with like me and him and our family. Just there's just a crap ton of trials that we're having to go through right now, and it's just heavy. Like, I just feel heavy. I was really hopeful. I was really, really excited to see. Even though it was the faintest of the line, I was unbelievably excited. So we'll see what the next step is.
Times like these are some of the most difficult parts of our marriage. And I think it's because you do experience such a wide range of emotions. You have the highest high, the endless joy, and the deepest despair. You go from happiness to confusion to even self-doubt and everywhere in between. And
oh, they're laughing.
I don't want to say things that might reignite those bad feelings. I want to be there to support and uplift those good feelings. And sometimes it's hard.
Oh, I mean, there were a few times where, I mean, even right after, it's like we were like trying to like just like have like a good little trip, date night, me and you, and it just, there was just tension. And
escalated.
And it's not even because of one person or the other. It's just tension. It's just emotions. Mm-hmm. And Jared told me, he's like, this is just as much emotional for me. I just feel like sometimes I see it's maybe because maybe women are more comfortable and they're the ones that are sitting and talking, but mm-hmm. I really enjoy that you express those emotions to me, because Jared very much is a part of this, and you were excited and then you were sad.
Mm-hmm. I think throughout all of this, even though there has been some tension and turmoil, we've been there for each other. It's been hard, but we've been there for each other. And I feel like that's one thing that I'm grateful for, is through the past 7 years of talking about infertility, pregnancy, and family, we've learned that not everyone has that. And that's something that I am extremely grateful for, that we have that. And I hope that by making this video, that you can understand that you're not alone in the suffering that you might be experiencing, or even us that we're mm-hmm. experiencing. That's been one of the most reassuring things that we've had, is knowing that we are not alone. That's why we started the channel a long time ago. We're not alone in this. There are people who have gone through the same thing that we've done, even more than we have.
Even more.
And just being able to share this, I think, is good for us and hopefully good for others as well.
What you thinking? I always worry about sitting on your head.
I know. I'm like, oh, pass them off to Ellie.
What's that?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I guess at the end of the day, it's just nice to know that there are some people who are going through the same thing you are. That this thing we're doing on this planet that's circling around the sun is a shared experience for the most part. And we learn every single day, and I'm grateful for that.
So that is the experience that Jared and I have had recently that we've already been able to go through and process before we've sat down to film it. And like we said earlier, there's pros and cons to doing it both ways.
Yeah.
It's wild right now. There's so much in my mind, but we'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in our next video.
Bye.
Bye.